Good evening, everybody. This is part 6 of the 12 days of Christmas, and I hope that you can join me this evening. If not, have a very happy new year, and I'll see you on the other side. But yeah, we're on part 6 of the 12 days of Christmas, so well done for keeping up so far. And I know some of you have been doing your homework, and I've seen pictures in the Making It Special group, so I know that you've been keeping up and having a go and just enjoying the process. Hi Kath, hi Gemma. So it's lovely to be in your company once again, and don't forget, if you've got a better offer of champagne and poppers, you go for it. In a couple of days time you'll think, oh, I wish I hadn't done that. Hi Nicola, hi Debbie, Judy, Sandra, nice to see you all. Now if you're watching this later on this evening or in the next few days, months, whenever, and you're on YouTube, normally I can stream live to YouTube, but I can't this time. But you'll be seeing this an hour later from when it was broadcast live on Facebook. And my best suggestion is to join the Facebook session, because then you're seeing everything live, and then you can ask me questions. You can't ask me questions necessarily once the video has been done, although I can obviously pick up those questions and take them forward to the next evening. So if you're watching this on YouTube, it's about an hour out, so thereabouts, hour and 20 minutes, but I'm sure you'll probably join us here on Facebook. So thank you very much for your company. It's lovely to have you here. So Kath says, how about Christmas pudding, brandy sauce and Prosecco? What, is that what you're having, Kath? I don't think I could face it. I've got Pepsi. I nearly brought a sherry up, but I thought, no, no, I'll just stick to the Pepsi. So is that you, though, having your Christmas pudding and Prosecco and all of that? In fact, I've got a little Christmas pudding in the cupboard. Oh, Anna says it was her birthday yesterday. So my present to me was to join your group. Of course, yes, you did. Oh, that's great. Yes, welcome. Oh, that's so good. Oh, gosh, Anna, when we settle down into the new year and you settle into the groups, because you'll be in Platinum as well as Liz's sewing group. Oh, where's my badge? I forgot my badge. Oh, naughty me. I will go through everything with all the new members and yourself, so you know roughly where everything is, because when you first join, oh hi from Hawaii, oh my word, when you first join, there's the thing is, the files everywhere, there's huge amounts of information and you might get a bit lost. So it's good that we will take some time out, probably maybe where are we, Sunday this week coming, because I shall be live in the group on Thursday, so you can you'll be able to join us then. Yeah, I'm live every Thursday, Anna, in the Liz's sewing group. Yeah, so I'll catch you there. So we'll be 8 o'clock here on my page, and 7 o'clock in the group, because I can't let the members down. Oh, Kath says she's enjoying the pudding we didn't have last week. I'm not enjoying the Prosecco, though, rather have a cup of tea. Just have little sips at a time. We bought a beautiful bottle of red wine from when we went to Southwold, and it was going to be our sort of, well, I'm not going to say treat, because neither of us really like it. We thought we might have a little glass on Christmas night, but we didn't, and it's still sitting in the cupboard. But maybe we will at some point. So maybe this evening I'll crack open the red wine. I don't know. Marion says she's having a cup of peppermint tea. You know what, Marion? I think that's a very good choice. Oh dear me. Oh well, we're okay. We don't mind. We're not bar humbugs. It's just we know our limitations. Anyway, we must crack on. Thank you ever so much for joining me this evening. I suspect that the numbers will be low live, but that's okay. I haven't got any problems with that. Still got to go through the process of doing our part 6. So I'm really looking forward to this. I'll show you roughly what I've done so far, and then we'll crack on with a portion. And I've also got, I think, nearly every night. Hi Adrienne. Adrienne's, it's our wedding anniversary today. 13 years, 13 years, and it's their lucky number. So goodness knows what's going to happen. They'll probably have cruise holidays and all sorts. So happy anniversary, Adrienne and Woody. That's lovely. So, I've lost track of what I was saying. Oh yes, I've got another little demonstration for you tonight of something a little bit different. And it's all to do with appliqué. So I think over the last, 6 nights, we've done something a little bit different, and maybe I should list it. I certainly have on my page, I've got a list of all the sort of techniques and things that we are doing to complement the 12 days and to have a bit of learning, as well as having a bit of a banter with each other, which is always lovely, and I'm always up for a bit of banter. Oh, that's lovely, you're wishing Adrienne a happy birthday. That's lovely. No, happy birthday, happy anniversary. That was a birthday in October, I had to think then. Right, so yes, let's crack on so we don't miss that muck about. So this is my rough drawing. You've seen it several times now. It's getting a bit dog-eared. So as you know, we've completed this whole section here now, and I know 1 or 2 of you have as well, and it's lovely to see. This was the section that we finished last night, so that was part 5, and that's what we finished last night, or started it, I should say. So I finished mine today, and I'll show it to you in a sec. So tonight I've cut my squares. So this square again is a 10.5 by 10.5, and this rectangle here is 20.5 by 10.5, and you'll need, now I want to talk to you in a little while about stabiliser if I can remember. It's whether I can remember or not. But you're going to cut about an 8-inch square of tearaway, something like that, to go behind this. You could use soft, very, very soft interfacing if you want to. And you've got to bear in mind that all of these pieces have got some sort of fusible webbing on the back, so they are quite stable, but we'll talk about that a little bit later and the reasons why I think you should use a stabiliser. Okay, everybody's different, but it's sometimes better if I explain why it's different for me, I suppose. Yep, so tonight we're going to do this one and this one. I think the first one I'll do is the one we've never done before, and that's what I'm calling the 3-headed tulip. Now, in case somebody doesn't know and they've joined us for the first time, all of the patterns, all the templates for these appliqué flowers are on my website under the title 12 Days of Christmas. It's in the menu. If you're on your phone, it's the 3 or 4 little bars at the top of the page. Click that and then click 12 Days of Christmas. If you're on a PC or a laptop where you can actually see the menu bar going across the top, it's quite clearly shown as the 12 Days of Christmas. So go in there and you'll find this sheet, so you can write down your scrappy notes like me. You've got the 2 sheets where you can do printing onto heat and bond direct to save you tracing all of the patterns out, and also all 4 flower templates. So they're all on the website. There's nothing else anywhere else. It's all about using up scrappy fabrics if you want to. You'll need sort of solid colours, but there is no reason why all of these backgrounds couldn't be a different colour. You could make them all tones of blue or green, or you could have, I don't know, tones of goldy colours, depending on obviously what fabrics you're using for your flowers. So you don't have to have, I've done white because for me, when I'm showing you, it's clearer for you if you see this in black, I'll say black and white, in like blue and white. So you've only got a few things to focus on. If I had a very busy background, everything would be lost, and it's not so easy to see. But I've made mine in white to complement this, and my little quilt, my little wall hanging is definitely definitely a sampler because of what I've been showing you. So that's what we're going to concentrate on first, and then we'll stick those pieces down. And I need to demo something for you, which is quite interesting, and as I said, it's all to do with appliqué, so it's not as if it's not appropriate. I've got my mat out ready for putting the pieces on. Oh, excuse me. So I've already cut my 20.5 by 10.5 for the bottom rectangle, and I've cut the 10.5 by 10.5 for the other panel that the scallop flower goes on. Okay, that's that one there. So we're all ready to go with my pieces, and I've got 2 pieces of stabiliser. Again, I'll talk to you about it in a little while. To go on the back. Okay, but firstly, let me just show you the tall flower that I finished. You may or may not have seen the video that I did earlier. Sometimes I think it helps to see what other people have done, and I wanted to explain what I have done here. So I have done a blanket stitch all the way around, which I started last night. I just did a few stitches last night. So I've done a blanket stitch all around the edge of the flower, and it by hand, and then a blanket stitch all the way around the stem and the leaves, and I've drawn in with my micron pen the little sort of veins of the leaves. If I bring it up, you'll be able to see it a little bit better. I still can't get my room to be as light as I would want it to be. And then I free motioned the rest of it, so the flower, and I think you'll have seen this, and hopefully if I flash it a bit, I free motioned it in gold because I can, because I like gold, and made a really nice effect. Let me just bring it up a little bit more so you can see how that looks. Plus, if you remember on the live last night, we used the micron pen, and I used it again, as I said, on the leaves, but I've also done, and you'll hardly see it, but I've done some lines in there just to emphasise that sort of V shape that's going into that flower there. Okay, I wonder if I put it on the side camera. You have to apologise for the mess on my desk. You might be able to see it a bit better, but it's a bit better light that way. Yeah, so so I've mixed up the free motion with the hand stitching, and of course that really it makes quite a nice effect actually, and this reminds me of like a cactus. So it's given it a completely new dimension really. And then of course you could use the micron pen again, as we did last night, just to emphasize some of this, and I did that on, if you remember from last night, I'll just hold that up, we did that on this, the triple-headed daisy. You can see I did my drawings on there, my sort of running stitch, and then I thought I need to do it on this one, so I spent a happy sort of half an hour, and I really am in my happy place when I do this, that I spent a little while drawing on my scallop flower, and I put running stitches in here. I put little hearts, you can see very clearly little hearts in all of the points going in, and then I actually put like sort of seed heads. So I did little circles in there, and I did kind of like seed heads there, a bit like a sunflower. So I really sort of jazzed it up a bit because it looked really plain against the other one. So I really didn't have a lot of choice. I didn't mind because I quite like doing it, but then it kind of adds to the effect of the overall design. And then of course we've got the lovely tall flower, and on the second one I'll be doing something completely different. So I do like how that gold is picking up for you, because that was really what I wanted to show you. I'm just trying to get it so it flashes a bit. I think I have. I think I've succeeded. Right, so I'll pop that to one side now, because we can't do anything with that until we do the other scallop flower. But what we can do is to start the process of putting the tulip together. Now let's get the pattern sheet out. It's really quite nice to have this to hand. Let me just move everything along a little bit. I'll just make myself a little bit smaller. Ooh, sorry about that. Sorry. Oh dear me. Sorry about that. I'll just move myself a bit. There we go. So yes, so it's nice to have the flower there so you can see, I mean, because the idea is that you see this, you don't necessarily need to see me. Now I haven't cut anything out because I thought, you know what, we're doing this together, and I've said all along that I'm not sort of rushing ahead unless we're going to be short of time, which we kind of all okay at the moment. So on the website you will have a sheet that gives you all of the pieces to print on your printer with heat and bond, which saves you the bother, you can see, saves you the bother of tracing them all. I think I've got everything there. Tracing them all. So for instance, I always think these look like little birds. So you've got 3 pairs, you've got 3 leaves, 3 centres and 6 leaves, the stem and these little sort of branchy bits. So you've got everything you need on that printer piece, which is really very handy. I've already got my fabrics prepared, so I've got the green, because this one you only need 2 colours really. You can have, listen, you can have what you like. You could have this as one tone, maybe yellow, maybe blue, maybe pink, or you could have pink, 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 and then maybe, I don't know, green, 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 or blues, and have the stem completely different. So you don't have to stick to what I've got there. The idea is these are what we call like a modern flower, sort of quirky. So we're not making something that's botanically correct, yeah? So you don't have to stick with what we've got here. This is, as I say, what I do is to make it look as simple and as achievable as possible for you guys. Otherwise you'll not want to do it, basically. So I'm going to get my big scissors out and see how we get on, see if I can cut these fairly quickly. So because I've printed them onto my heat and bond, I've got the most accurate line here. And I mean, I don't know about you, but my drawings, especially on curves, are a bit sketchy. And the printing kind of is your friend if you can manage to do it. And to be honest, look, I'm going outside of the line a bit, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Just do the best you can. Notice again, you know, we've covered this right on day 1 about holding the scissors steady, whether you're left-handed or right-handed. You hold your scissors steady, put your elbow on your desk or your wherever you are, your armchair, whatever it is you're sitting in, and you're moving the paper with your left hand, and your scissors stay absolutely rock solid where they are. The only movement you'll get from here is my cutting action and my opening action. That's all there is. So let's carry on and just quickly do these, which it never seems very quick, does it, when we're cutting? But I did, like I said, I didn't want to sort of jump ahead. I wanted to do this with you, because if you're sitting at home now and you're trying to keep up with me, then hopefully while I'm gibbering away and showing you things, you're busy cutting, cutting, cutting. If you're not, don't matter. Oh gosh, yes, I meant to say. Now look, I want you to keep this to yourself. I'm rather hoping that Abigail's not. I'm looking at the comments just to make sure. I'm rather hoping Abigail's not on the live. I don't think she is. I know Adrian is, but Adrian won't tell tales on me. But I've noticed that on her website she still has the half-price tickets for sale for La La Land. Now, if you don't know what La La Land is, it's not the film, it's not Los Angeles, it's a fantastic day event in Birmingham where I'll be there, Abigail will be there, Adrienne from Zippy Doodle, and Lily, who obviously is Abigail's right-hand lady. And we've got Crafty UK there with Andy and Joe with their templates. We've got Kim Porter of Worn and Wash Fabrics, which is awesome. I can't even tell you how excited I am about that. I'm locking away my wallet. You think I'm joking, I'm not. And it's a fabulous day. And the one thing, oh yeah, don't let Abigail, if she comes on the live, for goodness sake, somebody tell me to shut up. But the one thing that we love about it is that we get to meet all you guys. because obviously you know us, you know what we look like. Sometimes we haven't got a clue. You know, the pussycat on your profile picture just doesn't do you justice. So it's lovely for us to meet you, and it's going to be an absolutely fun-packed day. And what she said was, which I've just remembered, is that the ladies, there's 120 ladies already fully paid up, and she's going to do something extra special for them, because she doesn't want anybody at all missing out on anything. So she's really being very good and very fair to everybody. So we've already got 120 ladies signed up. Last year I think we got to about 180. We'll see how we get on this year, but it's all booked, you know, and like I say, I know that she's still got, I don't know how many, but I know she's still got, it's on her website, avidcrafts.com, and don't tell her I told you. It's her own fault. She should have taken it down. It's quite easy. You know, Kath and I do that all the time. We take stuff down off the website. We lift things up off the website. I'll just make myself a bit bigger now. She left it on. I saw it earlier, and I thought, going to be telling my ladies about that tonight. So, sorry, I'm dithering. So I'm going to try and now quickly cut these out. Yeah, so if you're interested, get along to her website and get yourself booked in. Like I say, don't tell her. Just say you just happened to... So a friend told you. It's her own fault. It's because she's off. She's given herself some holiday. 3 weeks, I think she's having off. A couple of weeks, I don't know. And because of that, she doesn't sort of monitor anything. You know, she's not like me. I monitor. Kath and I monitor everything every day. But Abigail's off, so you have to kind of assume she's in Barbados or somewhere. She's not, but she could be. Right. So I'm being as quick as I can, which obviously is not quick at all. But don't switch off. It's going to get better. Actually, I've got a really nice little technique for you. It's something that I showed, or rather, actually, it was something that Kath showed the members last summer. And it's actually all to do with the appliqué. Well, no, it's not actually all to do with the appliqué, but we've made it so it's good for appliqué. And I wanted just to show you this kind of trick, really. And it's super. So, and I do love to share. If things work out well and I love it, then I like to share. So, oh, Debbie says she can't wait to go and meet everyone. Oh, me too, Debbie. I mean, the weekend that we had in November with Abigail was super. I love it. But the Birmingham event is something quite different because she does bingo. Hopefully she'll have all the numbers this year. Next year, nearly this year. And oh, what else was it? She did bingo and that went horribly wrong. Oh dear me. And then she thought Debbie Irwin was not there, and she was sitting in the front row, and oh, got right out of hand. Right. Oh dear. Oh, Helena said she'd love to come to La La Land, but can't book anything in advance just yet. Yes, because I think we've got Pat coming over from America. So that'd be lovely, won't it? So now we've got to put these flowers together. So I'm just going to kind of shift everything out of the way. And because this is like a silicone mat, everything sticks. So we'll make one flower up at a time. Now, you could, of course... you could of course do all these singularly. Do you remember the other night I showed you that you would iron this down and then stitch it? Iron these down and then stitch them. Or you can build up the whole thing and learn how to stop and start at these sort of junctions here. So with this one you would start here and stop there and so forth. Whether you're doing a decorative stitch or whether you're doing free motion or whatever you decide to do. And do this one first, because whatever you do here will come over the top of it. Yeah, but we'll talk about that hopefully when we get to it. Yeah, when we sort of get to the crucial bit. So let's put the flowers down. So these are like the buds, and they're not meant to be they're not meant to be sort of exact the same side. They are a bit sort of wonky. Now I don't know if I've got that right yet. I doubt. And then we've got to put these down. So we've got to remember how these go. So have a look at the picture and have a look at your piece, because that is about right, isn't it? And that's not to scale, so we know that that's about right. So that I can put over the top of that. You get what I mean? And you should have a left and a right. If we haven't, we'll be in trouble. And then I've got to reprint again. So that's that one. Okay, and we can adjust them. They can come up like that. Try and keep it, look at the picture, look at what you're doing. And before anything gets ironed, you know, you can keep adjusting. So that goes that way. And let's see if this one is the opposite side. It's just going to be pure luck if it is, look. That one goes there. I quite like the yellows together. I must admit it's a lot a bit brighter on my mat than it is what you can see. But then that's how it. Oh no, that's that one. But that's how it is, isn't it? Unfortunately. So I think what I'll do is I'll make the 3 flowers up, and then I'll put the stems down. So assuming that we're all okay. This last one. Whoops. Cool, yeah. Excellent. So I can look better on the overhead. I'm actually quite happy with how they look. I don't think there's anything glaringly obvious that I can see. And to be honest, if they are, like I said before, if they are, you know, they're not botanically correct, so they can look however they want to look. But I'm fairly happy with how that looks. So we're just going to put our iron over the top if we switch it on. Now don't forget also, I talked to you, I think it was yesterday, about this, okay, the ironing cloth. And if you're at all worried about the state of your iron or the heat that you're going to transfer onto these flowers, or you might think that you're going to scald them, anything like that, use one of these protective cloths, okay? And that will help keep, I'm going to just move it because I don't need to. Look, it's a brand new iron, it's fine. And you can protect your work, and also when you come to iron your big pieces, I'm pointing at the pieces that I've completed. You know, use a cloth for them to protect them, or press them from the wrong side just to make sure you're okay. Debbie says November was brilliant. It was lovely to meet you. It was lovely to meet you as well, Debbie. Really lovely. So I'm happy with those. So now I can take my stem off, my stem paper off. Just move that so I can see it. Now I'm not going to offer these flowers up. Oh, I keep doing that every time. I'm just going to position it, and I'm going to put the big leaves underneath. So I think one of these things is remembering which order. So these leaves go underneath. So let's put that one there. And it's not sure how to do this with the left hand. There we go, I'll do. So you're just catching the tip. Hopefully you can see that okay. And let's just work our way out. So we just got the two medium ones now. So pop them under. So it's quite different, isn't it, this one? And pop that one under there as well. Oh, there we go. There we go. Lovely. Let's just move that along a little bit. Oh, and thank you once again. I've had some more coffees bought for me today. Thank you ever so much. Really appreciate it. There's 2 or 3 people I need to reply to and say thank you, but don't think it's gone unnoticed, because it hasn't. It's just it's been a little bit busy here today, and I need to go onto the sort of web page it belongs to, if you like, and say thank you. I really appreciate it. There we go. So, what do we think? Then they're about the same, aren't they? They're not far out. And it's just a case of moving them until you're happy. I mean, to be honest, all that we're going to iron are these points in place. Although the stem will stick a little bit to this, it's not permanent by any means. But let's get that glued together. And they're only just the tips, so you want to be really careful when you lift this. And then we've got the branches, so we've got 2, and we want to make sure, so I'm going to just do it like that for the moment, because these branches go off at an angle. So you want to make sure, do you see this? In fact, if you look at the drawing, the line drawing, you'll see that you want that edge to be straight with the stem. So do you see how it's straight there? So if I lift that up, it wants to go under there straight. It probably wants to come up a bit. Let's just raise that up a bit. There. And this one again wants to be straight. That does go up. Let me just check and make sure that I'm... Yes, if I do that, I'm not happy with that. In fact, it probably needs to go... I wonder if it should go that way. No, I'm going to just leave it like that. That's fine. And it's kind of opposite, but up a bit. Yeah, if that makes any sense. I think that's about right. I think I'm happy with that. Let's just shove it along a bit there and move that just slightly there. I think I'm happy with that now. Yeah, are we happy with that? I think so. Right, okay, so now it's just a case of lifting our flowers up and popping them down on top. So we're only covering about 1/4 inch. Sorry, my arm was in the way. So if I just do this one, so there's the end there, and I'm just literally covering it by 1/4 inch. Yeah, and then this one here, again, about 1/4 inch. And this is quite, it's very, what's the word, symmetrical, isn't it? So I need to try and make sure that my flowers look symmetrical. And I suppose you could get it, again, you could get a ruler on it and measure it, but I'm not sure I want to go to such extreme lengths. I think I'm pretty happy with how that's looking. Let's just get the point on there, okay? So there we are. So there is our flower actually created very, very easily on our applique mat. Now, of course, you don't have to do it on the mat at all. You can put it straight onto your fabric. But of course, by putting it on the mat, you've got an opportunity to look at it and make sure you're in the, with everything, you're in the right place. But everything was in the right place before you stick it down, and that way you'll get an accurate result. So let me just move that out of the way. And now then, stabiliser. Now you know that I'm using tearaway, purely optional, because I really want to make sure that you understand this okay. That on the flowers, and you'll notice this if you stitched in the centre of that, you've got 4 layers. You've got, well, probably more actually. You've got the fabric, you've got glue, fabric, glue, fabric, glue, fabric, glue, right? So you've got all of those layers that your machine needle's going to go through. And to be honest, if you're free motioning, which I did this afternoon on this, I didn't use a stabiliser because this is stable enough on its own. I often worry about the edges of things because I don't want anything to pucker. So I do, if it was just this flower, for instance, if it was like these that we did, earlier, you know, last week, then I definitely would say stabilizer, because I don't want to jeopardize my design. I don't want any puckering, and the stabilizer does what it says on the tin. It stabilizes the area that you're stitching. So it does help, but because I was doing a hand stitch, blanket stitch, and I wasn't putting it on the machine, I was happy that I wasn't going to use any stabilizer, and the glue alone stabilizes that quite well. Okay, so that's a lot of stabilizing going on there. But if I'm just doing the design as it is, I'm using a little bit of tearaway, a tiny bit of 505, and I really mean a tiny bit. You do not have to use 505. You can just, what they call this is you can just float it underneath, right, loose, and it does exactly the same job. So you don't have to spray it and attach it. Okay, it's difficult to cover everything and make sure that you know, you all understand that there's no rules. It's just making sure that everything is going to work correctly for you, and also it means that you'll end up with a really nice result. So I've just finger pressed the centre of my fabric, and I'm just going to place that over my stabilizer. So let's have a little look. And because I've put a little bit of 505 on there, it stays. It's, you know, only a tiny bit. That's all you need. And then I'm just going to just make sure I've got that on the... Oh no. Let's put it on the side that you want it on, which is the wrong side for that. Right side facing. It's difficult in this light to see. And then give it a nice iron again. Now I best pressed or so flatted all my fabric, so it's really nice and not stiff, but it's got a little bit more substance to it. And then all we need to do is lift our flower off, and this should come off pretty easily. Just give it a helping hand, bend your mat. You can see what I'm doing. Bend the mat. You can use your pokey tool. So where is it? Where is it? Here it is. So, you know, you can give it a little hand. Don't be gung-ho about these things. Treat with respect. Okay, there's a bit of fabric under there. There we go. Let's put that on the floor now, so I don't need that anymore. I can see my stabilizer under there, so I know this is where my flower needs to be positioned. And obviously I want the same distance-ish, top and bottom, so I'm looking at that. It's not bad. I can perhaps bring that up a little bit. And if you're not sure that you've still got it in the middle, you can still, we can fold it over. You know, this is all worth it. Give it a little finger press. There we go. And make sure that your stem follows that fold line. There we go. Super job. There we go. Look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous. And then it's just a case of ironing. So don't forget, with this bottom one, it's horizontal. So the 20.5 goes across your wall hanging, stroke quilt, stroke table mat. What are you going to use yours for? When you get a chance to make it, what are you going to use it for? Any idea? I know I saw somebody the other day, I might have been Kathy, who said she was going to make cushions out of all the different panels. So I think that would be nice. Yes, if you use the tearaway, you can remove the excess after stitching, leaves a softer finish for a quilt top. Yeah, it doesn't have to be tearaway, Anne, but like Sue has just said, you can remove it. So on my flowers here, this has all had tearaway on the back. I have to apologise for all my ends. This has had tearaway on the back, and I've took my quick unpick. Do be careful, and I have taken a lot of it away. A very nice sharp pair of embroidery scissors will also take the remainder away, but I haven't bothered in here. I have taken it out of the leaves because that's a bigger area, and the stem pretty much, but I haven't taken it out of the petals. You know, you don't have to do that at all. Otherwise it's a lot more work for you all the time. So, and that's already got the glue on it, so you will get a certain amount of stiffness from where the glue is on the back of your fabric. Right, so that's the three-headed tulip done, and then all we need to do is stitch it. Let's have a look. Jeanette says she's thinking of a table cover. Nicola says mine will be a little lap quilt. It'll match my table runner, so I may make a cushion to go with them. Oh, lovely. Brilliant. So now we can think about what stitching we can do. Well, we've covered so much. The only stitch I haven't done is satin stitch, and I think I might do that on this. Satin stitch wants to be on, well, in my opinion, wants to be on something that's not so complicated. For instance, the scallop flower would be a little complicated a wee bit for satin stitch, although the inner circles would be good fun. So I think maybe I'm going to satin stitch this. I've got the wrong machine on my desk, but I've got these other things to show you. And then with the flower, with the other flower, let me just move that now. So that's going to be my homework. So I shall do that, and then I'll show you tomorrow. We'll do a little bit of satin stitch tomorrow, so you know what that looks like. I'm not going to not do it, but I'm conscious that actually this is the biggest part of our 12 days of Christmas. So this is my 10.5 by 10.5 inch square. So we'll just set that 505 with a bit of heat. And then I'm not going to do it just now because I want to show you this other thing. But I've got all the pieces for my scallop flower, and of course I have printed this onto heat and bond, so we're all ready to go. I just need to get the fabric and stick those on and cut them out, which I will do, and if I've got time at the end of this I will do that. But you've seen that day one we did this, so this is just a repeat. So if we look at the plan, this is the one we're doing there. This is the one we did on day one, or part one, and we're just repeating that, and we've just completed the sticking on of this, and I'm going to do a satin stitch around it, which I will do a little bit tomorrow, and then I'll finish off tomorrow night so you can see what that looks like. I don't want to not show you. The other thing I want to show you, and we'll probably do it on this tall flower here, is using a twin needle with your applique. And how does that look? You can use a twin needle on free motion as well, but I'll cover that on the 14th of January. But we can do a twin needle, just ordinary stitching, and we could perhaps do it on the leaves and the stem. Maybe we could do it on the leaves here as well. So we've got that to cover. So we're only halfway. So we've still got an awful lot for me to show you what to do. But like I say, I've got other fish to fry with you tonight. So, oh, there's a little spare bit there. So these are going to be the pieces for my scallop flower, which I can cut out in a second. But let me show you something interesting. Now, as I said, my members, of which probably most of you watching are members, but it's good to have a reminder, will have seen this technique with our Kath last summer, and she made a cracking job of it. And it is all to do with applique, and I thought it would be great to cover that with you again tonight and show you right from the get-go. So this is using your embroidery transfers. Now these, I think they're on my Amazon shop, but they are a set of 10 mandalas, and they're embroidery pattern transfers. Now these are really good because they are, what's the word, symmetrical. That's a word I can't seem to remember tonight. Or lap quilt as well, Marion. How lovely. Anybody else doing anything else? Yeah, it'd be nice to see what your ideas are. And because they are symmetrical, they're really easy to work with. If you're working with, if you're doing a fish, for instance, that is a little bit more tricky because of what we iron on our fabrics is the mirror side, so that needs a little bit of thought. So I thought start off easy and then we'll work up. So we want to find a design that's not too difficult, because I don't want to cover it all but just parts. It's probably going to be one of those two, although that's quite nice. Well, that's quite nice as well, although I don't like the word in the middle. What is it? Breathe. No, I don't like that word. And these, they're all doable. Don't think I'm dismissing them because they're no good, but you need a little bit more time than I can give to it. Oh, actually that's quite nice. That's quite nice. Yeah, although that's easier. I might have to stick with that. I know I've used that a few times, so hopefully the ink will still be okay. Let's do it. So with the mandalas, they are embroidery pattern transfers. If you've never seen them before, they are for embroidery, but actually they're perfect for appliqué as well. And free motion embroidery, absolutely. Oh, thank you, Sue. So let's see how we get on, because I don't know how much ink is on these. Let me just try and get a bit of flex here. So what I'm going to do, I've got the iron on sort of a medium hot. So see the arrow, it's not quite on the 3 dots, it's kind of, actually it's where the steam thing is on this. So you're kind of in between of the 2 heat settings. And I want you to hold on to a corner. I don't know how this is going to work because this has been used a couple of times. And I just want you to run your iron over it. And hopefully we've transferred, it's not too bad. It's going to be very faint for you, isn't it? Let me try that again. I need it to work on the other fabric, that's what I'm concerned about. You don't know what sort of quality these things are sometimes. You should be able to get 10 transfers out of a transfer. So hopefully give it time for the ink to transfer. Oh, that's better. And I'm not bothered about whether that's too light or too dark because we're going to cover a lot of it up. So using an embroidery transfer means that I've now got potential to create something really artistic, would you believe? So I'm just going to move that slightly over there. And what I want to do now is just pick up some fabric. Let's get some bright fabric here. And don't forget, as I said, this is symmetrical, so whatever I cut will fit anywhere. So I'm going to, again, transfer the whole design onto the back of my heat and bond. And again, I'm hoping that it'll transfer enough for me to see the lines, because I know this has been used at least 6 times, so it's getting a bit faint now. So you can pick out certain bits. Now that's smashing. I know you can't see it very well, but that is enough for me to cut. Let me bring it up to the camera and you can see. Yeah. And you can do the same with another colour. So we've got a gorgeous pink. So let's use this fantastic blue. But we're going on to the paper side of the heat and bond. So again, just a little bit of patience now because it's getting quite faint. And then if you notice in the centre there's a fabulous little flower. So let's just, and what you don't use on one of these, super, then you can use on something else. So let's take this pink, and I just want that little flower really. So I'm going to make sure that I pop the flower, and I'm going to push down a bit to make sure this ink transfers. They say count up to 8 or 9 or something, but I'm too impatient. So although we've transferred some of the design, I'm only interested in that bit there. That was hot. Anyway, let's put that to one side for the moment. Let's bring our piece back in. So this could be something that you could put in a hoop. and you could paint it, and you could put embroidery on it if you know, you could do your French knots and all of that sort of thing. So we're just going to cut out this flower. Now if there's other parts of this design that you want to keep and use, then be careful how you, because I just went gung-ho straight through because I knew I didn't want anything else. But some of these little petals here, can you see? Oh, these little petals here, that might be something that you want to use as well. So be careful how you cut into this, because I'm going to say you have 10 chances with each transfer, if that makes sense. And all of these pieces can be hand stitched down. Well, we're going to glue them, but you can hand stitch them, you can free motion round them, you can do your blanket stitch round, you could, I don't know, you could use your paints and go around with your sparkly paints all the way around, you know, the world is your oyster. So now we've cut out that piece, it can go in the centre. Now obviously it's not, whoever's drawn it, it's not quite right, but that's fit okay. And we'll just glue that down. So we're starting to build up a design. So what we could do now, for instance, is we could cut the yellows maybe. So we could do the whole bit, or we could just do that little bit there. So again, that's going to be up to you. Not yellow, pink. So as I say, be very careful on how you cut. So let's cut the big ones out for the moment. So I'm just going to snip in and try and cut on the lines. These scissors are serrated and they catch on the fabric. They are brilliant, but they catch on the fabric. So as I say, just be careful. Try to cut on the line, because then your pieces will fit. So, and it does obviously look a lot better when it's got stitch on it. And it could be any sort of stitch, and as I said, it could be your, you know, glitter pens or paints. It could be acrylic paints that you're using over the top. You could use your micron pens again. They're a bit trendy this week with me, aren't they? Only because they work. They do exactly what you need them to do. So there's another one. Let's pop it down. And so you can start building up a design. I wish I'd used the yellow now. But you could use that transfer again with the yellow, and then you could cut these little pieces out of yellow and build up the design with the yellow. It would look amazing. But as I say, just be careful where you cut, because there's other pieces in this design that you might want to use. So I haven't taken the paper off, but I'll just pop it down for quickness. So you can see where I'm going with this now. So I would say, see if you've got some embroidery transfers in your stash. It could be anything. It could be a flower, a tree, it could be a fish, gosh, mushroom, I don't know, I'm thinking off the top of my head what it could be. Oh, Judy says she got some Inktense pencils for Christmas. Judy, have you seen my demonstrations on Inktense pencils? Oh my gosh. Well, they're all in the files, in the members group. All the Facebook lives I've done with Inktense pencils. Oh my gosh. They're super. We have so many, sometimes we have so many toys to play with. So that little flower, you see, I could use on a different one. So I'm just going to do a little bit to give you a gist of how we're doing it. What time is it? It's nearly an hour gone. My goodness. Let's cut this one out. Okay. Oh, make it a bit neater. Right, so all of these now can be stuck down, and then you can work with stitch to make them stand out. So let's get them down, and because you've got the lines, it means that you can just pop the pieces into within the space that you've provided, and you'll have exactly the right size, you'll have exactly the right shape. Everything works because all you've done is use the same transfer over and over again. So let's just pop the iron on that. That was lucky. Didn't see that had moved, little monkey. So let's heat those down. So that's the sort of build up. And then when you start looking, so for instance with the blue, you could take these large pieces out of there and stick them on here, or you could take the blue and cut that bit and then just cut this piece out, and then that background piece then could be perhaps the pink. So there's, if I show you, just show you one little piece. There we go. So as I say, be careful of how you're cutting, because all you need to do is to cut on the line, because you don't know if you're going to use the piece next to it, like a jigsaw puzzle, yeah? And you need a nice sharp pair of little scissors. So again, look, we've got 3 pieces there, 3 pieces of potential. So let's cut that piece out, cut this piece out. And of course you could leave the background white, or if it's Judy with her ink tents, so you could get your ink tents out, Judy, a bit of aloe vera gel. There we go. And you could paint in between here, or use your micron again. Gosh, in fact, let's quickly show you that. So I only want, so that piece, oh, has that got paper on the back? This piece that I've just taken away, that could be used on another design. So let's get that one down, pop it in there. So this is where, again, your tweezers will come in handy, or your pokey tool, just to make sure it's lined up. And you know that these pieces should touch, because all you've done is cut on the line. So let's move that, we don't want that. Let's just iron that down. There we go. So you could build up that all the way around, and then in here, if you get your pens, which you know are washable, not that you would wash this, and maybe you could, I don't know, add some circles. There we go. There we go. Add some dots. Dots are always good for filling in. When I was making cards, I used to put dots on everything. There we go. So we've just filled that little piece in there, but you could use your pencils, as I say, your ink tents, or anything, acrylic paints. If you've got a painting by numbers for Christmas, that would be acrylic paints. You could use it on there. Well, I'm saying it should be acrylic, check, because that will make a difference. But then of course all of this you could have as free motion. So what time we've got a couple of minutes. Do you want me to free motion a little bit of this flower? What have we got time? Do you want to stop for 5 minutes and I'll just free motion a little bit? I'm going to keep all these, because if I've got time tomorrow I'll finish that off. So what do you think to that idea? I think a lot of you may have already seen me do that, but it's lovely to have a reminder. Is that on? Yes. Let's turn my iron off. I've got my gold thread still on my machine. I haven't checked my bobbin, so that's the only thing that I might run out of bobbin. Oh, and somebody was talking the other night about a ruler foot. So there's my ruler foot. Okay, so you can see that it's got the same hole through the centre as a free motion foot, yeah? But the only difference is, because it's a ruler foot, it's got that 1/4 inch there the depth, so it sits, so a ruler, it will sit against the side of a ruler, but you can do free motion with it. After all, that's what you're doing when you're using a ruler foot, you're doing free motion. And the only difference is that you've got this wider band just here. Okay, so that's a ruler foot, and that's perfectly acceptable for doing free motion if that's what you've got. Don't want you going buying stuff when you don't need to. Right, let's quickly do this. Oh, it was Jeanette, it was you, was it? Okay. So let's do a quick bit of free motion just to finish the evening off. Let's put you on the side camera. Sorry, we're a bit messy tonight. And I'll put a little bit of, not much, tear away, just a scrap underneath. I'd really need a lot bigger piece, but this will do. And I'm floating it, I'm not gluing it, so there you'll know the difference now. Floating just means that it's loose under my work. So I'll put that under, and ooh, look at that little monkey. Hold on, let's just try and get that. This is where I go quiet. I need to get my tweezers. Don't know if I got them handy. Bear with. Sorry for leaning in front of you. Hold on. Ugh, it's not going to happen, is it? It's not so bad to rethread this with the gold thread because it's a lot thinner. I do apologise for my head being in the way. There we go. So hopefully I won't run out of bobbin, but we'll get the gist. So a little bit of free motion then. As I say, well, this is something that I should be covering on the 14th. So if you want a really good couple of hours of learning how to do free motion, then join me on the 14th. So we'll just go around a couple of these petals. It's just a case of relaxing, which I know is difficult for you, but I shall cover this more and better on the course. Let me just move that so you can see it a bit better maybe. Because we've got techniques that we can use to help you get relaxed and do the best you can possibly do. So I'm going around 3 times, only because it always looks nicer, because I'm using gold thread, so it makes it stand out. I'll do the next petal to it. Let me zoom you in a bit more. See if I can get you in. Oh, wrong way, that way. That was the slowest zoom in ever. So let's try and get you. What I'll do is I'll move the camera a bit more when I'm doing the course. Again, a little bit of on the spot activity just to make sure that stitch is locked, and then if you've got a tail you can just cut it and then just move your fabric around. And you will have noticed in my video today I've used my quilting gloves. We're filthy, I must wash them. They are essential really for free motion. On the little pieces we're doing it's not so bad, but it really helps you grip the fabric. But I've got other techniques that we'll learn. So you can see how lovely that looks. And then if we wanted to put in some detail, again you might want to use your heat erasable just to, I don't know, put something in the centre. Again we're sort of doodling. And then perhaps we'll do the same on this one. I don't know how well you can see here really. So just put a little sort of mirror image that's smaller of that outside piece. That's lovely. And then with this one you can, oh, my thread's just jumped, so I won't bother now. But you can see what that looks like with just a little bit of stitching. It's brought the whole thing to life, really has. And when you imagine all of this done, maybe you can have a little sequin in the centre there, more stitching on that little centre flower. Maybe you can do your doodling with your pen in there like I've done, or keep it plain. You know, you've got huge potential, and this is all appliqué. So although it's completely different to what we've been doing for the last, well, 6 days nearly, it's actually the same, just done in a different way. So I haven't done very much. I'll try and do some more tomorrow, and I'll try to get more done. I don't know about doing it all, but I'll do as much as I can. So don't forget, tonight was all about that first sort of horizontal rectangle. Does that make sense? And we've put on our 3-headed tulip. Looks really lovely, doesn't it? So I will do some satin stitch on that tomorrow. I'll do the other scallop flower as well, but when we meet tomorrow night at 7, I'll leave the satin stitch on one of the 2 of the flowers, and we'll complete that so you can see what that looks like, and how to work out what settings you need. I can tell you what I've got my machine set up for, not this one, doesn't do a zigzag, and then you can either try it on yours or try it out, but use your scrap piece of fabric that hopefully you've had by the side of you for the last couple of days, to work out your stitch width and stitch length, because it does make a difference. You don't want it too tight, that's the thing. So I will complete that tomorrow. I'll complete it as far as I've just said. I'll do as much of this as I can so you can see what that looks like. And again, it's just making appliqué a little bit different to what perhaps you imagined at the beginning. So when we first started on Boxing Day night, I would love to hear your opinions on what you thought it was going to be, and also what you've seen and what you've achieved during these last 6 days. And if you've learnt anything, I think you've learned something, but I hope that appliqué has become something a little bit more exciting, and something that perhaps you can achieve. That would be great. Right, I'm going to leave you in peace. I would love to wish you a very, very happy new year, where we can wave bye-bye to 2023 and say hi to 2024 and make it your best year yet. Think about all the things you want to achieve. Get your bucket list written down. Get a diary. Get everything in that diary of what you want to achieve. Don't overfill it. 1 thing a month is enough. Even if it just means you want to go somewhere. Maybe you want to go to York, or maybe you want to go to Edinburgh. Whatever it is, get it in the diary, get it booked, give yourself the day off and go. But whatever you do, have the most fabulous, fabulous 2024, because by golly, it will take an awful lot to beat 2023, because that's been absolutely fabulous for us all. If you've recently joined my members group, thank you so much indeed. It's lovely to have new people join. We do lots of lovely things. So thank you for that. So I wish you a happy new year, everybody, and I'll see you next year at 7 o'clock. Bye.